Alright, so this is the simple jig, if you want to call it simple. It's just a couple of folding arms, and I've been using that to find the angles I have to cut the blocks on. So so this is the last block I got. I did all the other cuts off camera. It's dusty, messy, and very time consuming, so I figured I'd save the last block for video. So what I'll do is I'll take this out now, carefully take this out, and I'll transfer these lines to the top cap that needs to get cut, and I'll bring you over to where I'm cutting those in a minute. Okay, so one of the issues is that these blocks are 3.5 inches thick, and the diamond wheel I have on my saw is only 7 inches, so obviously I cannot make a full cut through, and so I have to cut from both sides, and that's why this little template I made, or a jig, is got 2 edges, so I could transfer the line on both sides here, and flip that over. Okay, so with the lines on both sides now, I could adjust a straight edge, and I could make a cut on each side of the block and minimize the offset, hopefully, so there won't be a step on the cut, you know, kind of like that, if you guys can see this. So this was one of the earlier cuts I made when I just had the one side. So having both sides gives me a little bit more accuracy with that. So let me get the fence set up with some clamps, and we'll start cutting this. And this makes a tremendous amount of dust. I'm wearing an N95 dust mask, and so let me get that set up. I'll bring you back. All the block work is done, and just got to glue all these top caps down. I just got them positioned. I'll just pick them up one at a time and glued them down, and that'll be done. And this space here, I'll get some more landscape fabric, back that up against the block, and backfill that with some soil, put some grass seed in, and see underneath that number 2 stone there, I got the 4-inch corrugated drain pipe, and it goes out to a discharge over here. And I actually got some grass growing already, which is nice. I don't know if you guys can see that. And then I started a little bit with the stone underneath here, and that'll get raked out smooth and level, and get everything all cleaned up. And the only dilemma I got now is I don't know what I'm going to do with this area here. I don't like it. I got a couple more blocks left over, thinking I can cut something, fit it in here. Looking back, I should have turned the wall and just did a 90 coming out underneath here, but that's too late. I can't go back and do that now. So you know, so it is extremely humid today. It's, I think, 80 degrees, and the humidity is like 93%. I'm dying out here. So I just got this last block cut. That's all done now, and so we'll be back filling again and getting these stones put down, like I said before. And I think what I'm going to do is, this soil here is going to get cut out, and I'm going to continue around the circumference of the pool and clean all those weeds out, and put that same stone, go right around. Now there's a little bit of an embankment here, but I don't think I'm going to get carried away putting the retaining wall back here. I'm just going to cut that back, put the stone, and we'll see. Maybe next year, if that presents a problem, we can do another wall section here, much smaller scale than what I tackled here. So all right, we'll keep picking at this, and hopefully get this thing done. It's been dragging a bit, dodging raindrops. It's been brutally hot, and but it's coming along good. I'm liking it. All right, we'll see you soon with an update. I mentioned earlier that this part, I kind of regret not having the wall make a 90-degree return back this way. So I had some leftover block. I fit them in between the pier and the wall here, and went up 2 courses, and I had some cut blocks I threw behind it, some landscape fabric, and some extra 2B gravel. I threw that back there, and I had some of that plastic lattice, and I just covered that over. This is the back of the pool. Really don't see this back here, but just to finish it up somewhat, instead of just having a gaping hole there. So we got that done. All the top caps are glued on. All right, earlier I mentioned that I cut each of these top caps, and let me explain that a little bit better. These caps come with a 90-degree corner on each corner, so they're basically rectangle. So I have to narrow the front edge here by a small amount to make up for the radius of the curve here. So not super critical or accurate, but it needs to get trimmed down so you could form a curve. And that's what I was saying, that I had to cut each block a little bit. So they were pretty close to one another, and then you had a couple that were a little off, but close enough. And the other thing I didn't mention is that when you cut it, you have a straight edge. So on the ends, I wanted to continue with that rough, broken look. So I just lightly scored around and used a wide masonry chisel and just broke that off, and that leaves that weathered edge like that. So, alright, just thought I would mention that. And also, with some of the leftover stone, as you can see, I was starting to run low on it here, but went around the rest of the pool and filled in around where the filter is, and went up to the other side here. Earlier I had said I'm not sure what I'm going to happen. I don't know what I'm going to do with this part. If it stays like this, it's fine. If I find that mulch starting to run into the stone all the time and becoming a problem, I may do maybe like a 1 or 2 course block around that just to dress that up. But we'll see how that goes over the course of the rest of the summer and into the spring next year, and I'll make my decision then.